Dragon Quest Dai Episode 8 is called Furfang Full Assault. Now, this episode correlates with manga chapter 23 through about 24, a little bit of 25. So each episode, I haven't talked about this before, but each episode is about 2 or 3 manga chapters. And right now we're in volume 3 of the manga, if we're adapting it, without any extra stuff. I don't know what they're going to do with the anime. We don't have any idea. And it's a total of 37 volumes. So there's still quite a bit of story to go, even though they are going faster than I was expecting. So this series could end up lasting about a year and a half, maybe a little bit longer, but probably about a year and a half. So I wanted to let everybody know about that ahead of time. And this is going to begin the story where now that the party has been formed of Dai, Mom, and Pop, now they're about to run into some trouble because the bad guys are coming back for revenge. So, what is the one thing that almost all JRPGs have? If you play JRPGs, Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Breath of Fire, what is the one thing they almost all have? Inns. Places to stay at, to sleep, so you can replenish your HP and your MP. And in this episode, our heroes stay at an inn, and it was pleasant to see that here. Once again, if you are a fan of these kind of video games, you're going to enjoy this show because it's going to remind you of being in the video game. Granted, it's not based on any direct Dragon Quest game. The stories are all different. It's like being in a video game. It's very comforting and familiar if you grew up with these games as I did. And it's funny because they run into and this is a great cameo, if you can call it that, they run into, at the inn, the fake hero from episode 1. And they're trying to squash the beef and say, okay, bygones be bygones. Yeah, right. And I told y'all in a recent review that this guy was coming back. I forgot exactly when he came back, and I guess it's now. Meanwhile, Crocodine is pissed, and he sends this army. I think in the manga, it was like the army of 100,000 monsters or something like that. It's crazy. To the Romos kingdom, because that's where Dai's going. And they want to destroy the entire kingdom with this huge army of monsters, yo. Business is gonna pick up, as Jim Ross would say during the Attitude Era, even after that too, Dai and everybody else, they see this while they're at the inn. And I think Dai may have felt responsible because he knows that they're going to come after him. And that if people die at the castle, it'll be his fault. Indirectly, of course, but he's got to do something about this because this is getting really bad now with this army. And for us as an audience, it's getting pretty awesome because this is epic stuff right here. The interesting thing here is that Dai rushes off to fight, but Pop is over here like not wanting to fight. He's being a coward, he's being a pussy. Mom is like grabbing him like, dude, we got to go help this guy. And he's like, oh, well, Dai's real good in a pinch. He'll take care of himself. I don't want to die. And it's like, dude, he's surrounded by hundreds of monsters. And of course, the freaking fake hero decides not to get in there because he's a coward. We already knew that. But that was an interesting development because Pop is kind of a coward. And I don't like that because Dai could die. I mean, seriously, he's strong, but he can't do this alone. This is the war we're talking about here. They got soldiers and whatnot there, but so what, It might not be enough to stop these monsters. Mom is totally disgusted at this too, bro. Totally disgusted, and you can't blame her either. So Dai busts in and confronts Crocodine face to face, and the king recognizes him because the king already saw him in the earlier episodes. See, it's all playing back to what happened in the earlier episodes, and Dai's just right there face to face, giving him what he wants because Crocodine does not care about the king or even about the kingdom. He wants Dai. This is all a revenge plot. Dai uses Frizz on him, and Crocodine's surprised because in their last battle, he could only use a sword. But now, again, folks, he's leveling up. He's learning new spells. He's learning how to fight different forms of combat. And the villains are witnessing the evolution of Dai as a fighter, slowly becoming the hero and leveling up like we all do when we play these games. So Crocodine chooses to use Zaboeta's secret weapon, the one that he did not want to use, saying it was too dirty. He didn't want to, he wanted to beat Dai fair and square. Well, he changed his mind on that because Dai's beating his ass and is now stronger. So he busts out this, what's supposed to be Dai's weakness, right? And his secret weapon is brass. His adoptive grandfather, yes. So when Zaboeta was on the island and was able to penetrate it, he was able to not only take brass, but also brainwash him into becoming an evil monster. So now Dai is going face to face with his only family. The one who took care of him for so many years is now on the bad side. He's got the red eyes and everything. Really, really interesting. And yes, this is Dai's weakness right here against his only family. Literally. Evil Brass starts to cast confusion spells on the army of the castle to have them fight each other. And, it's a real pinch that they're into right now because this guy knows his spells, you know what I'm saying? Way better than Dai does. Dai just can't deliver here. He doesn't want to hurt Grandpa. He knows that his Gramps Brass is being brainwashed. He gets hit with a frizz spell. He stops Mom from attacking him. He just doesn't want to hurt him, which, again, the cunning enemy, Zaboeta, was on point with this. And this was good stuff right here. I mean, it makes sense. And Mom starts to taunt Crocodine like, damn, I thought you were a warrior. I thought you were an actual beast king. Instead, you're using a hostage to, a family member of Dai to fuck with him psychologically instead of actually going in there and fighting him like a man. Like, he's questioning this guy, questioning his pride because he can't beat this kid, and he's using his own relative against him. It's pretty cool, that she stepped up. That's the best way to get around this without having to actually hurt Brass. And Crocodine just straight up says, listen, I've already abandoned my pride. I don't even care anymore. And of course, Zaboeta's laughing at, his manipulation tactics working in this instance. Zaboeta's even making fun of Crocodine, calling him a muscle brain buffoon or something like that. Because he's like, I set all this up. I am the mastermind, And even earlier in the episode, Hadlar says that he is the most cunning one out of all of them. He's the brains of the operation, so to speak. Very manipulative guy. And it was all his idea. So a plan is formed to where Dai is going to take the cylinder where he kept Brass in away from Crocodine. While that's going on, Mom's going to go up against Brass in a magic duel or whatever. Basically, they're going to split up and see if they can figure out a way around this without anybody getting hurt. At least not anybody who Dai cares about. Dai's plan fails though because his speed's been halved by the frizz spell, gets knocked away, and then Crocodine busts out his most powerful move, the Beast King Anguish Blast, which his right arm gets really big like Scott Steiner, and he just blasts this huge ki blast at Dai. This is supposed to be the killing move, right? This is supposed to be the move that takes Dai out for good. Dai and Mom get blasted through a wall, and they're just out. I mean, they are not conscious. Meanwhile, the coward Pop is just, what's going on? Like a bitch, not wanting to get in there and help out. He would have made a difference had he actually been in there. And that is the cliffhanger. But next week is when Pop finds his courage, and he's going to get in there with a house of fire and hopefully save Dai and Mom from the clutches of Crocodine. I like this episode a lot. Next week will be even better because top tier animators are going to be working on the next episode, and it looks incredible in the next episode preview. So I really am excited to see where they go with this and how it's going to look. Overall, thumbs up. No bad episodes yet of Dai. I mean, there's been a few decent ones. Last week was more of a development episode, but this one had a lot of action, and I enjoyed it. What did you think? Let me know. And yeah, Dragon Quest Dai episode 8 in the books, done.